Hello all, welcome back to CNH channel again. We're here with KL. KL, welcome to our channel. I want to thank you for being with us in our channel. And we're going to be interviewing him. Please introduce yourself and tell us who you are.
All right, thank you for having me, man. I appreciate it. To everyone out there who may not know me, my government name is Kyle Layton, and the artist name is KL. Representing Northeast Calgary, and this is music. This is our studio, Soul City Studios, and we here, man. Happy to be with you guys.
Thank you so much. To start with this interview, I would like to know, where are you from?
I was born in Zimbabwe, Africa, and I moved up here when I was real little, 4 or 5 years old. And then I bounced back and forth between here and Toronto the whole time I've been in Canada.
Wow, do you miss home?
Yeah, I do. I get homesick a lot because like my whole family's still back there. My immediate family is up here, but all my cousins, aunties, uncles, everybody, is still back home, right? So I get homesick a lot. I do miss it.
I know the feeling. Me too. I'm in the same shoes. Well, you said you were 4, 5 years old. How did you start with the music?
That question is actually, it's kind of difficult for me because I don't remember a point in time that I actually began. I just always remember music being around. I came up like in a household. I was fortunate enough to come up in a household that like my parents always had great music around, like from the Motown era of things, right? Like that 70s soul and R&B, right? Because a lot of my friends, they came up in households where I don't think they listened to great music, So it was always there. We were always performing. The first time I performed, I think I was 6 or 7 years old, and at that time I didn't really view it as a talent. I just did it because it was fun to me, you know what I'm saying? I just enjoyed doing music, right? But I think, as I turned to like late teens is when I became serious about the business side of it, when I started treating it as an actual career instead of just something that was fun. But to answer your question, it's kind of difficult for me to pick a time that I actually began. Yeah.
No, that's cool. Yeah. I also heard that a lot of African people, not to generalize everyone, they listen to anything.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Because I work with a lot of Africans, and they even know a lot of Spanish music and Spanish shows and stuff like that. So it's cool. I like that.
Definitely.
What inspired you?
As a kid, you look up to your idols, and like my biggest idol growing up was Michael Jackson, and I don't even have a memory that doesn't involve him. He was almost like another brother, another sibling in the household because he was around so much, and he's what made me want to do music, what made me want to pursue this as an art and as a craft, But now, I like life inspires me, just what you see and the things you go through and your experiences. That's kind of what influences the music now. It's basically just what you're going through at that time, you feel me?
Yes.
So yeah, like growing up, I was looking up to my idols, and now it's just I look to life to inspire me,
Wow, that's really cool. My other question, what you look up to? I already asked you. What kind of music do you are mainly into? Is it rap or R&B, or is there more that you will be doing? But right now, I know it's rap.
Yeah. Primarily, I'm a hip hop artist. I'm a rapper, but I don't limit myself to anything. Like if the records I got on radio, they're everything from like EDM records to pop records to R&B records to rap records to anything, anything that I feel just kind of grips my soul when I'm listening to it, right? Like jazz records, anything. I don't restrict myself to any one genre of music. I don't even like when people just call me a rapper or something, because I like to really get involved with any kind of music that I feel can touch someone, that I feel can get to someone's heart, get to someone's soul, And ultimately, that's what it is when it comes to the musical side. I don't want to restrict myself to any genre.
That's cool. I really like that. What was the first song that you produced?
That was a while ago. I think it was a song. It actually got on the radio. It was a song called "Mop the Floor," and it was more like a jokey, like fun song, almost like a parody, right? And it actually got played on the radio out here. It's very embarrassing, so don't look that up. Don't look that song up.
I think we just did. I think we were listening to it, but
yeah.
I mean, you gotta start somewhere.
Yeah. Everything, the whole process is a learning process, right? Life is an education ultimately, right?
Yeah.
So, but just don't look it up,
Well, okay. How many songs have you written so far?
hundreds, you know, probably even close to over 1,000. You know, like of 10 songs that you make, like 1 or 2 ends up reaching the public, right? You know, while you're creating the record, it always feels like that's the one. This is gonna be the one. But then, you know, sometimes you come back and listen, and you're like, oh, this wasn't quite it. You know, so for every, you know, 10 records, you know, one is the one that we think is good enough for everyone to relate to. You know what I'm saying? Ultimately, I think people just want to relate to music, you know, whatever the genre of music is, people just want to relate. So we just try to figure out the best music that's the most universal, that the most amount of people will feel they relate to, you know.
So is it a long process to pick the songs that you're gonna release? Or?
I wouldn't say it's a long process, but it's difficult because you got to get, you know, 6, 7, 8 people on the same page, and everybody likes a different song, right? So then sometimes we just got to take a vote, you know, and just whatever the most amount of votes, whatever song gets the most amount of votes, we just go with that one, right? It's very difficult to get 8 people to like the same song when you got 10 songs, right? So sometimes you just gotta. I'm the artist though. Sometimes you just gotta put your foot down and say, okay, we're going with this one. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes I try my hardest not to go down that road. You know, I always want everyone's input. But sometimes when it's getting difficult, you know, we just gotta move forward.
Why District 5?
Well, District 5 is actually like it's a collection of neighborhoods in the Northeast, right? So anyone from the hood, anyone from the Northeast side of the city knows what it represents. But ultimately, it was just a way to represent our squadron of the city, you know. And then it just kind of caught on, you know what I mean? We got like white kids from the South and saying District 5, and like, you know, people that don't really even relate, that aren't really from those areas, right? But it just kind of caught on with the public, and then now it's just there.
It sounds cool, and that's just because I grew up in District 5. I lived in Temple in Pine Ridge. Most of my life here. So when I first heard it, I was like, wow, this is so cool. I like it. And then it has a catch to it, right? I really like it.
Yeah, thank you.
Have you opened for any artists?
Many artists. You know, we toured and opened for like all artists from Rihanna to 50 Cent to Snoop Dogg to Nas to Nelly to Marshmello to Pitbull to Akon to, you know, like I even forget how many people we've been blessed enough to be able to perform with and tour with. But yeah, like in that aspect, in terms of performance, we've been real blessed to be able to get booked on those shows.
Did you meet Rihanna?
Yeah.
Oh my.
I did, and it was really hard to focus that day. It was really hard to focus that day.
Trust me, I know. I've seen Rihanna so many times. I want to meet her too.
I understand.
Okay, so since you've opened for all these artists, who has given you the best experience? Meaning, like, when you meet them and...
The best experience, that's kind of tough because you get a little bit something different from each artist. But I really appreciate the artists that actually, you know, gave us the time of day. That just kind of, they didn't look at us like they were above us or anything. They just kind of treated us the same. I was real young. I was 16 years old when I opened for Eve. I don't know if all the young kids know who Eve is. But she was a rapper with Rough Riders and DMX, and we got to talk to her, and I was starstruck at that point because I was still so young. And I remember she just said 2 words to me. I said, if you had any advice for like an up and coming artist, what would it be? And she touched my forehead like this, and she just said, stay positive. And something so simple like that stuck with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, just because once the negative energy and negative thoughts get in your mind, that's when you want to quit. Or when things start to get difficult or start to get hard, if you start thinking negatively, then you'll give up on music, right? And music and entertainment is the most cutthroat business there is. There's no more cutthroat business than this business. You can be hot today and you could be ice cold tomorrow, right? So when you're going through those highs and lows as an artist, you just gotta stay positive through the whole thing and just keep the right energy around you to be able to keep moving forward, you know?
Yeah, that's true. I like you. Who have you collaborated with?
You know, the main artist that I collaborate with, his name is Stephen Voice. He's from Montreal. He's almost like my brother. We've been doing music so long together. The owner of this studio, his name is Bobby Soul. He's another singer that I work with. We collaborate together almost every day, you know what I mean? 3-4 times a week. We collaborate. How we got the damn dog? Carrie, do your damn job, man. Shoot.
Loki, come.
Get out of there.
This way.
He wants to be in the interview.
Brothers like to stick together.
Then we got Bobby Soul in the house too, man. This is all
Monkey,
good.
come on. I'll take it. I'll take come.
It's all good.
That's good. Yeah, it's fine.
But yeah, I got a record with Drake that's called Still Fly. Actually, that was actually nominated for a Juno. I think in 2013, 2014, I can't remember which year. I got another record with Sean Kingston from Miami,
Okay.
and he, like that was a pretty big record for us as well, right? So in terms of like the mainstream artists, those are the guys that we got to collaborate with. And then there's my everyday guys that we just work with all the time, right?
Wow, that's actually cool. What is your goal with music?
I think the goal with music is ultimately to just be to be able to influence. I want to be able to influence the youth, not even just the youth, just people in general. I want everyone to just be able to say they took something away from my music, like whether it made them happier, whether it got them out of a difficult time, or whether, no matter what the situation, I just want to be able to influence people and make people feel like they can relate, you know?
Yeah. I gotta say something. From all these songs that I've heard from you, I've noticed that you don't swear. I really like the kind of stuff. Not that I'm against it.
Yeah.
I like music that has swears in
He
it.
swears. So.
But I really admire people that don't have to use swears to make music.
Yeah, I think when it's necessary, because real people swear.
Yeah.
Real people use cuss words. Real people get angry. Real people. So if you want those people to relate, sometimes you got to speak their language. So to me, it's just when it's absolutely necessary. If I'm angry and the song is asking for something angry, then sometimes it works, right?
Yeah.
But for the most part, I just like to make feel good music that makes people feel good. It's almost like graduation music. It's happy and sad at the same time. That's what I like to create, so people don't really know where their emotions are taking them.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm most comfortable creating, is that kind of music.
It's true. From all the songs that you've written, which songs means the most to you and why?
Which song means the most? That's tough, because every song means something to you, something that you went through. But I got a song called Raindrops,
Oh,
and that's
I love that song.
yeah, that song emotionally myself, I felt it, and it connected with a lot of people. A lot of people, like a lot of people lost a friend, or a lot of people, like their mother was sick at the time or something, or there was a little girl, her name was Bronwyn, and she was from Vancouver. And she was diagnosed with cancer, and she said she was always in like excruciating pain when she was going to chemotherapy from the radiation. And her mom actually reached out to my manager, and she told him that she listens to the song Raindrops before she goes into chemotherapy and before she takes on the radiation. And she says it takes her away from them.
Yeah.
So that part really, really touched me. She said like that's one of the reasons she can go through life is because she hears that song. So like when you hear stories like that, you know that the song really connected. You know?
And I feel like it does connect. Like when I first heard it, I loved it, and then it just makes me think of life and things like that.
Right.
And, I love that song. Would you do music like with in another language? Like let's just say like Latin music. Let's just say someone comes and asks to do a reggaeton song. Would you do it?
Absolutely. I don't think music was ever began or was created to speak in one language. I don't think it ever was. I think that the melody of A, B, C, D, E, F, G, or the melody of Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, those go all around the world simply because of the melody. It doesn't even matter what you're saying in the melody. It's people who can't speak English can still hum it.
Yeah.
So I think if you only speaking in one language, or you only speaking to a certain group of people, then you're restricting yourself. Like I'd work with any language, right now reggaeton and Latin music is the biggest music in the world. Like it's that time is right now. So I'd be more than happy to collaborate with anybody really.
That is true, because people like Drake are even singing in Spanish.
Yeah, and Justin Bieber and Beyonce, the biggest artists in the world are singing in Spanish. Like their whole verse is in Spanish. You know what I'm saying? So
it's crazy. I love it.
Yeah.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
I see myself with a lot more influence. I think we grow every day. Every day there's new followers, there's new people interested in our music. And like I said earlier, the ultimate goal is just to be able to influence, to be able to give society a shift. I want the music and my influence to be able to change what people think. Like if there's 100,000 people that follow me, that's enough to shift society, you know what I'm saying? So ultimately I see myself with more influence, but the same drive, the same passion for what I'm doing.
Wow. Is there any plans for an album? at the moment?
At the moment, I wouldn't say there's plans for an album. There's definitely enough material for like 3, 4, 5 albums, you know. But 10 albums, Bobby says, you know what I'm saying? But ultimately, you know, we live in a singles world right now. The attention span of the kids is just so short right now because of the internet. So, you know, we just give them one song at a time and just hope they relate to that one.
No, and that's true. I mean, there's artists that I don't know, but I like the one song.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I download it.
Yeah,
Right?
ultimately, and that's how most of the world works, right? They just get that one song they like, right?
That's
Work with that.
That's so true. Is there something that we don't know about you?
Yeah, I have a lot of fears. I think when people see a rapper or like someone who does hip hop, they almost get this hard exterior or like a gangster feel for someone or anything that's someone that's fearless or someone that. But I have a lot of fears. Like there's a lot of things that I'm afraid of. You know, as soft as that sounds to all the people watching, you know what I mean? I'm afraid of a lot of things. Like I'm afraid of heights. That's something people don't really know about. Yeah. A lot of people don't know that. You know, like when I'm going up on the elevator or when I'm on a rooftop or something, you know, like my legs are shaking, my hands are shaking. Like I don't get along with heights.
Is there a show coming up?
Yeah. Tonight I'm actually at Marquee, which is going on. We got a Saturday night there, and it's a real big night. Like 1,000 people come like every week. So that's where I'm at tonight. On Valentine's Day, I'm at a club called Paper Street. I was just at the Rec Room last night in Calgary. And the next tour that's coming up is actually going to be in June, but I'm not allowed to say too much about it yet. We have to wait till things are confirmed. But the next tour that's coming up is going to be in June. And in April, middle of April, it looks like I just got booked back home in Zimbabwe to go back. There's a big festival called Fox Festival out there. So we're just locking down the contracts and everything for that. And it looks like mid-April we'll be back home for that.
Wow, that's cool. I always wanted to go to Zimbabwe. I know.
Yeah. Come with me, man.
Oh, I want to. My other question is, do you have any pages that where can people follow you? And
Yeah, absolutely. My Instagram is KL Music at KAYL Music. My Facebook is facebook.com/KL Music, KAYL Music. And my Twitter is at KL_music. But Instagram and Facebook I'm most active on. So if you want to follow me on anywhere, pick most likely Instagram, which is KAYL Music. And anything you guys can do to just get to the music would just mean a lot, you know.
well, I guess this is it for the interview. I want to thank you for taking the time to let us interview you.
Of course, man. Thank you.
And hope to hear from you.
Definitely. I'm gonna be coming on you guys' show. You guys said, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Soon he will be on the Spanish talk show. So make sure you guys stay tuned.
Absolutely.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank
man.
you.
God bless you.
No, thank you.
So hey guys, surprise, I was actually here. I was just not interviewing, but I was here listening. And yeah, so thank you so much. I hope you guys liked the interview, even though I wasn't there. I know, it sucks that I wasn't there. But so yeah, expect this video soon. Or, I mean, you're probably watching it already. Never mind. But thank you, KL.
No problem, man. It was a pleasure. It was a pleasure, man.
And you know, as once he got this advice, we can share this to the world. Stay positive, right?
Stay positive.
Stay positive.
Man. That's it.
Thanks.